Introduction to Tilism-e-Hoshruba by Musharraf Ali Farooqi. So this is an introduction Farooqi has written for the collection Tilism-e-Hoshruba, which is a collection of tales. So Tilism-e-Hoshruba was actually existed in an oral form. The author is unknown, and it was written in archaic it was told in archaic language, had craggy metaphor, ornate word puzzles, and the word Tilisa means a magic spell or enchantment. So this was a set of tales which was orally transmitted. Okay. And from 1883 to 1893 in Lucknow, two rival storytellers, Syed Muhammad Hussain Jah and Ahmad Hussain Khamar, they wrote a fantasy called Tilism-e-Hoshruba, which was 80,000 pages long. It was monstrously lengthy. And they got the tale transmitted orally from the storytellers going back hundreds of years, as I have mentioned earlier. These were actually oral tales. They just wrote it down. They added so many things and they wrote it down. So when Tilism-e-Hoshruba appeared in print, everyone thought that it was a part of the cycle of tales of the adventures of Amir Hamza, an oral tale originated in Arabia in the 17th century. It tells the stories of the brave deeds of Amir Hamza, Prophet Muhammad's uncle. So everyone thought that this Hoshruba was actually part of the adventures of Amir Hamza, which were a collection of orally transmitted tales. And this emperor Akbar in 1562 illustrated, he commissioned an illustrated album of this legend in Persian language, and it took him 15 years to complete. So until then, it was actually orally transmitted. So everyone thought that Hoshruba was from the adventures of Amir Hamza. Okay, so it was the adventures of Amir Hamza was also told in India in Dastan genre, but the storytellers added new details and adventures to it. Okay, this a group of Lucknow storytellers wanted to add some Indian touch to these Arabic tales. So to get audience, they made a tale somewhat related to the adventures of Amir Hamza, and the godfather of these Lucknowi storytellers were Mir Ahmad Ali, and he was a Lucknowi master storyteller. So he under him or along with him, some Lucknowi storytellers created another version of created a story which somewhat looks like or somewhat feels familiar with the adventures of Amir Hamza tales. So these people actually added so many things from their hands. And Mir Ahmad Ali, now we are going to understand the version of Mir Ahmad Ahmad Ali, and how he has added things to this tale. He added a mischief monger in every adventure, because the tales were, as we have mentioned earlier, the tales were adventures of this person. This person, Amir Hamza. So he added so many adventures and added new villains when one gets defeated. And Amir Hamza's enemy, Zamarud Shah Bakhtri or Laka, was portrayed as a mischief monger by Ali in his version. Ali used occult arts of Islamic world as an inspiration and created a magical world called Tilism. The Tilism was created by and ruled by a powerful sorcerer, Afrasiab, the master of Tilism. So he brought a character, Afrasiab, who ruled the Tilism. And what is a Tilism? Actually, it was earlier, Tilism was a domed building with a bird on top. If the bird is shot, the Tilism can be conquered easily. But Ahmad Ali made Tilism a whole country. So in his version, a Tilism is a country, and one Tilism contained other Tilisms within it. Okay, in his tale. So Afrasiab with his sorcerer empress ruled over many sorcerers and sorceresses in one of these Tilisms, but he lusted over other princesses and carried on an affair with a beautiful boy. His empire was filled with treachery and palace intrigues, feud with neighboring Tilisms, which also had an equally powerful emperor. That's actually emperor. The word is emperor. So Ahmad Ali decided to give the magnificent title Tilism-e-Hoshruba. Hosh means census and Ruba means stealing to the tale. So that's how this tale was born. Tilism-e-Hoshruba was born. Actually, it was Mir Ahmad Ali who created the story, which is somewhat related to the Amir Hamza tales, and he gave the title Tilism-e-Hoshruba to this particular tale, and he added these characters called Afraziyab and all in his version of the tale. Mir Ahmad Ali wanted to make this tale the most famous among the Amir Hamza cycle, so he added many sorcerers, tricksters, wizards, monsters, etc., and stirred the tale more and more, so that when he tells the story, the audience will be more engaged. So in this process, Ali created the first, the longest, and the greatest fantasy of the Dastan genre. The giant Laka and the master trickster Amar Iyer were the two characters who appeared from the familiar Emperor Akbar's Amir Hamza illustration. So he took these two characters from the Emperor Akbar's illustrations of Amir Hamza adventures, and he created his version of the tale, and he modeled the details of the world of Hoshruba from the 19th century Lucknow scenes where he lived. He took inspiration from his own surroundings for the setting of the story. And Mir Ahmad Ali wanted an original author to launch his storytelling. In order to begin telling this story, he wanted to give the name of an original author. So he put the name of the Emperor Akbar's poet laureate Faizi. Okay, actually, we don't know who the creator of these stories are. He just named Faizi as the original author of this work, Mir Ahmad Ali. So, the author of this particular essay, Farooqi, is actually sarcastically saying that, Mir Ahmad Ali might have made up a whole story on how Faizi's work reached his hands, so that he can launch this story in front of his audience. Now, he had two disciple storytellers, Amba Prasad Rasa and Hakim Asghar Ali, and whenever they said this story or told the story, the audience believed that the source of the tale was, true, and these storytellers got inspired more and they added more characters and episodes to the tale. Even the Amir Hamza tales lost importance in front of Hoshruba. Okay, that's how beautiful they made this tale. During 1840s and 50s, Hoshruba took Lucknow by storm. The Prince of Rampur, he offered the place of the court storyteller to Mir Ahmad Ali, and Mir Ahmad Ali accepted this offer, and he left to Rampur along with him. His disciples Rasa and Khan, Amba Prasad Rasa and Hakim Asghar Ali, they both followed him, and their sons Zamin Ali and Ghulam Rasa also followed them. Later, Ghulam Rasa, even writes another version of Hoshruba. So they all went to Rampur, Mir Ahmad Ali, his disciple storytellers, along with their family. And he, before leaving, he passed his mantle of storytelling to a young storyteller, Muhammad Amir Khan, who later came to be known as the trickster expert before leaving Lucknow. So he continued Mir Ahmad Ali's legacy in Lucknow. So all these things, how Ahmad Ali leaves to Rampur and all are being, are very sarcastically, and how he tells the story in front of noble audiences first. All these things are being described very sarcastically. It's actually very funny to read if you go through the actual essay. So I have included all those details in this particular slide. So you can refer the essay to see how Farooqi is using sarcasm to make fun of this person Ali. And as I have mentioned earlier, Rasa's son Ghulam Rasa was appointed by the Rampur court later to write Hoshruba, because Ali couldn't write Hoshruba. He did not write Hoshruba. So Rasa's son Gulam Rasa was appointed for this, and he wrote it in 14 volumes between the year 1858 and 1880. And Hoshruba was accepted by everyone as part of the adventures of Amir Hamza. In 1880s, this person Munshi Nawal Kishore, he decided, he had a publishing house, and he decided to publish the entire story, the tales of the adventures of Amir Hamza. He wanted to publish the entire tale, but he wanted to start with Hoshruba, because by that time Hoshruba was the most famous among these tales. So he wanted to begin with Hoshruba. So he appointed Said Muhammad Hussain Jah, who is a Lucknowi storyteller, to write Hoshruba. Jah was an excellent narrator. So his first work was Tilism-e-Farahat. So he decided to compose a master version of Hoshruba. He wanted to do it very neatly. So he collected all available written and oral versions of Hoshruba from Amba Prasad Rasa, Gulam Raza, his son Muhammad Amir Khan, the person who continued the legacy of Ali in Lucknow after he left for Rampur, and Sheikh Tasaduk Hussain. He was a contemporary storyteller of Jah. So from these people, he collected all the information that he could cure in written and oral forms. And in his version, Jah gave more importance to women characters, because during the 19th century, in Indo-Islamic society, women had a very vibrant social life. So he included these characters like Maruk Magikai, the rebel sorceress, Sasar, sword fighter, the trickster girl, Empress Hayrat, Bahar of the spring quarter, who is also a sorceress. So he added all these wonderful women characters to his version of the story, and Jah made Afrasiab a heroic character in his version. He glorified Afrasiab's negative characters. He wrote the first volume in 1880s, second volume in 1884, third volume in 1888, in between 1888 and 89, and the fourth volume in 1890. And Naval Kishore hurried him, but Jah's personal life, his son and his daughter had died in between. He had so many troubles in his personal life, and he even shares these trauma in an episode in the third volume of Hoshruba. So he couldn't complete it in on time. Okay, so Naval Kishore replaced Jah with his rival storyteller, a person named Ahmad Hussain Kamar, to complete the next three volumes. Actually, they were planning to finish the work in 7 volumes. So, in order to complete the next 3 volumes, he appointed Ahmad Hussain Kamar. And Jah was not willing to give up the fight, so he founded his own press, and he privately published the first part of the 5th volume of Hoshruba in 1889. So he had already published 4 volumes with Naval Kishore, but when he was replaced, he found his own press and privately published the first part of the 5th volume in 1889. Naval Kishore and Kama published their first part of the 5th volume in 1891 and shortly published the second part too. So soon after Jah, Naval Kishore and Kamar also published their first part of the 5th volume, and shortly the second part too. Jah died between 1890 and 1893, so he stopped with the first volume of the first part of the 5th volume. And now, unlike then, the rest of the rest 3 volumes was written by Kama. So Kama was, he never gave credit to his seniors or contemporaries in his publications. He made guest appearances in the narrative and gave every character a chance to praise him. So he was such a person who added all these things in his version. And he published the 6th volume in 1892 and 7th volume in 1930. Now we are going to conclude the whole essay. So Tilism-e-Hoshruba they got published in 7 volumes by Ja as well as by Kama, and it was a bestseller, and 8 editions of Hoshruba, Tilism-e-Hoshruba was published between 1883 and 1930 in Lucknow alone. So it was that famous. It became the ultimate fantasy tale in Urdu literature. Faizi continued to be credited as the original author. We don't know whether he is the actual author or not. It was Ahmad Ali who brought up his name as the original author. So we don't know whether he is the original author or not. Mir Ahmad Ali's Hoshruba became the defining single most important tale of the Amir Hamza cycle. As his wish, Hoshruba became the most famous story of the entire Amir Hamza cycle. And Mirza Alimuddin. Now we are going to uh, talk about some people, the legacy of this work, or how this work is being carried after all these people, of all these storytellers. Mirza Alimuddin, who was a writer and a Rampur storyteller, launched his personal campaign to write Hoshruba an year before World War One. Between 1913 and 19, he produced 12 volumes and two secondary legends of the Hoshruba tale. Now, Mir Bakir Ali, he was the last renowned storyteller of India in the 20th century. So, his sample of storytelling method is preserved as a literary sketch in Dilli Ki Chand Ajib Hastiyan by Subi Jalvi, and Ustad Allah Baksh. He was a Pakistani painter, and he has painted the dense magic and dense storytelling of Hoshruba in his painting titled Tilism-e-Hoshruba, which is kept in the Lahore Museum. And Muhammad Farooqi, who was actually the author of this particular introduction. He is an Indian historian, and in 2005, while studying the cultural history of Dastans, he became interested in Dastan narration, and he, along with Himanshu Tyagi, collaborated to start Dastan narration from Hoshruba. And Danish Hussain joined later as a partner to Farooqi. And Shahid Amin, who was an Indian historian, informed Farooqi about the short, crackling record of someone's voice, which was discovered in the British Library. And on their search, they realized that it belonged to the last famous Dastan narrator, Mir Bakir Ali. And the 3-minute recording was made in Delhi as part of the Linguistic Survey of India records. So, today people call Said Muhammad Hussain Jah and Ahmad Hussain Kama as Urdu's greatest benefactors. So, the names of all these important names of people mentioned in the essay has been highlighted, and some details regarding the detailed narrative about the story, the characters and all has been excluded from this slideshow. So if you want to, you can read the essay to find out the story, the complete story of a more detailed version of this story of Afrasiab and all. You can refer the essay. So these are the major things that has been narrated in the essay. Thank you.